If you would like to comment on any item that's on the agenda, please fill out a gold speaker card and hand it to the police officer in the back of the room. The mayor will call your name, and when it's your turn to speak, you can make your way to the podium. All speakers have 3 minutes. If you would like to talk about a topic that's not on the agenda, please complete a blue speaker card and give it to the officer in the back of the room. Items that are not on the agenda are heard at the end of the voting meeting. Glendale has 7 city council members: Mayor Jerry Wires, Vice Mayor Ian Hugh of the Cactus District, Councilmember Joyce Clark of the Yucca District, Councilmember Leandro Baldenegro of the Ocotillo District, Councilmember Bart Turner of the Barrow District, Councilmember Ray Malnar of the Saguaro District, and Councilmember Lauren Tolmachoff of the Cholla District. This meeting is streaming live on Glendale's Facebook and YouTube pages and the city's cable television station, Glendale Channel 11. Thank you for joining us.
And good evening. Welcome to Glendale City Council meeting on May 14th, 2024. The meeting is called to order. I'm not going to do an attendance roll call as long as Councilmember Baldenegro is on the phone. Are you on the phone, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. With that said, everyone else is present. So attendance, excuse me, so attendance is not necessary. Next items on the agenda are invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Today's invocation will be delivered by Chaplain Captain Raul Ochoa, Glendale Fire Services. Sir, if you'd come up to the podium. And then gentlemen in the audience, if it's appropriate, if you have a headdress or a hat, if you'd remove it, if everyone please stand for our invocation. Please remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor? Amen. Please join me in a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the consideration of the minutes from the April 23rd, 2024 voting meeting. Council members, do you have any corrections or additions to those minutes? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve April 23, 2024 meeting minutes?
Yes, Mayor. I move we approve the minutes of the April 23rd, 2024 voting meeting.
Second.
That motion from Vice Mayor, second from Councilmember Tomachoff to approve the minutes. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Appears the ayes have it, do have it, that motion carries. Moving on to proclamations and awards. To proclaim May 19th through May 25th, 2024 as Public Works Week in the city of Glendale. We'll go ahead and do that one, and then we'll go ahead and go on to boards next after that. So. I'm like so expecting this thing to fall over. Hadn't done it yet. Okay, so the purpose and the recommended action is a request for the City Council to proclaim May 19th through May 25th, 2024 as Public Works Week here in the city of Glendale, which marks the 64th annual National Public Works Week. Accepting the proclamation is going to be Michelle Watanko. She's the Director of Field Operations. She's also pretty sharp. So, seriously. So, have all your guys kind of squeeze in a little bit. And we'll do this, and then we'll let you do your thing. How's that?
Okay.
How you doing?
Fantastic.
Good, good. Okay. Whereas Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of people of the city of Glendale. Whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of Public Works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it's in the public interest for citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of Glendale to gain knowledge of and to maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2024 marks the 64th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by American Public Works Association. Now therefore, I, Jerry P. Wires, Mayor of the city of Glendale, Arizona, on behalf of our City Council, do hereby proclaim May 19 through 25, 2024 as Public Works Week. Be it further resolved, I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. That was signed by our Deputy Chief Clerk and myself. I'm going to give this to you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to let you say your thing, and then we'll get a picture of everybody. How's that?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. On behalf of the 172 employees represented here by Field Operations and more than that, I see David Beard, the city engineer, in the audience, Shahid, Mark Roy. It's the people of Water Services that are out there making sure your water right now is clean, your wastewater is also acceptable when you flush. Your streets are working. Jamie, I missed you, and I apologize for that. But it's on behalf of all these people that are out there working today to make sure that your infrastructure is safe and you are safe as well, making the air conditioning work. I want to thank you. The theme of this year's event is called Improving the Life of Everyone, and I thought it really fit well with improving the quality of life, and it fits well with the city's mission because that's what these people do every day. So these people should be working tonight, and they're going to head right back there. Solid waste, our evening fleet shift. This poor guy from facilities that's working, he's on call tonight. He's already got a call for air conditioning, so they're going to head back to work. But Mayor, we appreciate this because we do work, not just field operations, but these other departments behind the scenes to make sure that everything works and we improve the lives of our citizens. So thank you.
Get up here and we'll take a picture. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go on to our next, which is boards and commissions. So, we will move on to appointments to boards, commissions, and other bodies. Mr. Melner, have you got any to make?
Yes, we do, Mayor. I move to appoint the following individuals to the Risk Management and Workers' Compensation Trust Board. Ray Malner to a term expiring January 31st, 2027. Vicky Rios to a term expiring January 31st, 2027. And Jeff Rosenberg to a term expiring January 31st, 2025.
Second.
Okay. I thought you were going to have more than that, but that's okay. So we have a motion, we have a second. With that, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Here's the ayes have it, do have it. That motion does carry. Any appointees in the audience right now? Come on up. If you read your name, come on up. You're the only one? Vicky? Yeah, right, okay, very good. Okay, so how about right over here? And then if you would, hold up your right hand, say I, state your name.
I, Vicky Rios.
Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution and laws. Of the state of Arizona. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And defend them against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. And that I will faithfully. And impartially. Discharge the duties of my office. According to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Get a picture real quick? Right up front. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move to consent agenda. Items 4 through 17, items on the consent agenda are routine nature. They've been previously studied by the City Council at a workshop session. Now, they are intended to be acted upon in one motion by this council. Have we any speaker cards for any consent agenda items?
No, sir.
Very good. Can I get a motion to approve consent agenda items 4 through 17, please?
Mayor, I move we pass and adopt consent agenda items 4 through 17.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, a second from Councilmember Tomachoff to approve consent agenda items 4 through 17. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Here's the ayes have it, do have it. That motion carries unanimous. Consent resolutions, Ms. Bauer, would you read consent resolution item number 18 by number and title, please?
Item 18, resolution number R 24-31, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, approving and authorizing submission of the annual action plan for fiscal year 2024-2025 to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and for accepting a community development block grant in the estimated amount of $2,354,682, a home investment partnerships program allocation in the estimated amount of $775,957, and an emergency solutions grant funding in the estimated amount of $208,142 and approving and authorizing submission of the fiscal year 2023-24 Substantial Annual Action Plan Amendment. Item 19, Resolution Number R 24-32, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of an intergovernmental agreement with the Superior Court of Arizona in Maricopa County for jury services. Item 20, Resolution Number R 24-33, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of a contract amendment number 1 to an intergovernmental agreement with the Flood Control District of Maricopa County, 2022A004, for the 103rd Avenue Landfill Drainage Improvement Project. Item 21, Resolution Number R 24-34, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of a contract amendment number 1 to an intergovernmental agreement with the Flood Control District of Maricopa County, 2022A005, for the Apollo Gardens Drainage Improvement Project. That concludes the consent resolutions.
And any speaker cards for any of those?
No, sir.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve those items?
Yes, Mayor, I move we approve consent resolutions 18 through 21.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, a second from Councilmember Clark to approve. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Here's the ayes have it, do have it. That motion also carries unanimous. Moving on to ordinances, item number 2, please.
Ordinance
22.
Ordinance number O 24-11, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of a power transmission easement in favor of Salt River Project Agricultural Improvement and Power District at 71st Avenue, south of Northern Avenue, and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report this evening is Principal Engineer Jamie Chapin.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request to grant SRP a power transmission easement across 71st Avenue directly south of Northern Avenue. The easement will allow SRP to relocate transmission lines, which will then allow a power pole that's located at the southwest corner of 71st Avenue and Northern to be removed. With the removal of the pole, a new sidewalk ramp will be able to be installed, thus improving pedestrian safety. Accordingly, staff is recommending granting SRP the easement. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none, can I get a motion?
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance number 024-11.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, a second from Councilmember Hugh to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegger, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 2-3?
Ordinance number O 24-12, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of a power distribution easement in favor of Salt River Project Agricultural Improvement and Power District at Saguaro Ranch Park, and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance.
Mayor and Council, this is a request to grant SRP an additional 10-foot by 10-foot easement to encompass new transformers that they will be installing at Saguaro Ranch Park. Staff is recommending approval so that SRP may install, operate, and maintain their facilities in the future. Thank you.
Any questions? Hearing none. Is there a motion on item 23, ordinance 024-12?
I move we pass and adopt ordinance O 24-12 and waive reading beyond the title.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second from Councilmember Tomachoff to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegger, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion also carries. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 24, please?
Ordinance number O 24-13, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the Glendale City Code, Chapter 17, floodplain management, and setting forth an effective date.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report this evening is Glendale engineer David Beard.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Mayor, City Council. This is a request to adopt an ordinance amending the Glendale City Code, Chapter 17, floodplain management. The changes to the ordinance, the ordinance, include modifications to the definitions, minor revisions to the statutory language, and reorganizing the text to align with the state model ordinance. This was done in conjunction with the Arizona Department of Water Resources and engineering staff. The changes do not have any negative impact on the city's ability to comply with federal and state floodplain management regulations, and will not require any additional staff time during the review process. Staff recommends approval of this ordinance. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Baird. Been a while since I've seen you.
It's been a
Any
while.
questions? Seeing none. Can I get a motion?
Yes, Mayor. I move we pass and adopt ordinance number 024-13.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Clark, second from the Vice Mayor to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegger, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 2.5, please?
Ordinance number O 24-14, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing cash and appropriation balance transfers between budget items in the adopted fiscal year 2023-2024 budget.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report this evening is Levi Gibson, Director of Budget and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This request is to approve fiscal year 2024 budget amendments, including the transfer of cash and appropriation. The City of Glendale fiscal year 23-24 total budget appropriation across all funds remains unchanged. The items identified in Exhibit A that contains the requested cash and appropriation transfers between departments and funds is consistent with Article 6, Section 11 of the City Code, and consistent with Resolution Number 5038, supporting the cash and budget appropriation transfer policy. The first three items in Exhibit A are requests for the movement of cash between funds. Items 1 and 2 in Exhibit A request to move cash out of funds no longer in use back to the funds where the cash was originally transferred from. The third item is a request to move cash from General Fund to Fleet Operations to fund increases in the cost of tires, contract labor, and parts due to the effects of continued inflation. The remaining items 4 through 17 in Exhibit A request the transfer of appropriation only. No cash is being moved between funds in these requests. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move that we approve ordinance number O 24-14.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Melner, a second from the Vice Mayor to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none. Councilmember Baltenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Mayor, I'd like to explain my vote.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I just actually not explain my vote, but to thank Mr. Gibson for the detailed explanation. I really appreciate that. And I don't recall such detail on these transfers, at least recently. So thank you for that, Mr. Gibson, and I vote aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries also unanimous. Moving on to resolutions. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 2.6?
Resolution number R 24-35, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, adopting a tentative budget of the amounts required for the public expense for the City of Glendale for the fiscal year 2024-2025, setting forth the revenue and the amount to be raised by direct property taxation for the various purposes, adopting City Council's financial policies, and giving notice of the time for hearing taxpayers and for fixing tax levies.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is to adopt the tentative budget for fiscal year 25. Once the tentative budget is approved, the final budget can be lower, but it cannot be higher. This is also a request for City Council to give notice of the date for public hearings on the fiscal year 25 final budget adoption and the property tax levy on June 11th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. here at the Civic Center, and the fiscal year 25 property tax levy adoption on June 25th, 2024, also at 5:30 p.m. here at the Civic Center. The proposed tentative budget for fiscal year 25 is $1.48 billion and includes an operating budget of $671 million, a capital improvement plan budget of $572 million, a debt service budget of $108 million, and a contingency appropriation of $129 million. The total revenue budget for fiscal year 25 is $1.05 billion, and the transfer budget is $295 million. The budget does not include an increase to the primary property tax rate. Exhibit A of the council item contains the detail of the proposed tentative budget. That concludes my presentation.
Questions? Mr. Gibson, how many years in a row have we held that property tax?
Mayor, I believe it's 9 in a row.
Okay, I like hearing that. Okay. Have we got a motion on item 26, resolution R 2435?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor.
Oh, go ahead.
I move we pass and adopt resolution number R 24-35.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Clark, a second from the Vice Mayor to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomashoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion carries unanimous. Next item is council comments and suggestions. Councilmember Baldenegro, have you any, sir?
No, sir.
Thank you. Councilmember Clark?
Yes, Mayor. Just one. This Friday, May 17th at 9 a.m., we will have the official groundbreaking for the Heroes Park Sports Complex. This complex includes 3 soccer fields, one of which will be of synthetic turf and never used in Glendale before. There'll also be a dog park, 8 pickleball courts, a new concept in a children's play area. It's going to knock your socks off when it's done. So I invite everyone to join us this Friday, 9 a.m., Heroes Park, for the official groundbreaking. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Milner?
Thank you, Mayor. Just one thing, it's summer, swimming season, and kids are getting out of school, and so I just want to remind everyone of the ABCs of water safety. Number 1 is A, for adult supervision at all times. B is barriers around your pools and spas. And C is for classes offered for learning how to swim, offered by the City of Glendale at both the Rose Lane Park, or Lane Pool, and at Foothills Aquatic Center. And finally, for adults, CPR training. If you really want to learn how to do that, there are lots of opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Tomashoff?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank the Choya residents, all the staff, and the council members that made it out to the, I don't remember what year, annual, it's a couple of years, annual Choya Spring Barbecue. Just hope everyone had a good time, and just wanted to say thank you for coming out and attending. Thank you.
Councilmember Turner?
Nothing today, Mayor.
Vice Mayor?
Yes, I had a good time, Lauren. It was fantastic. Nothing else, Mayor.
All right, and then I'd like to, if you don't know, I'd like to let you know, and if you do know, I'd like to remind you, Friday, late afternoon, 6 p.m. At Desert Diamond Arena. You want to be there before 6 p.m. It starts at 6 exactly. Parking is for free in Lot G. If you park anywhere else, you're going to have to pay for it. And what it is, it's an induction ceremony for young people made the decision to serve this country right out of high school. This year we have what looks to be about 530 young people going from high school directly into the military. And our city is hosting them. We're going to send them off. We're going to make them feel good about themselves and make their parents understand that they're joining a brand new family and how proud that our community is of them for making that decision. So I'm inviting all of you to come to it. It's hosted by Triple M Military Committee, and again, there's no cost, but if you're patriotic, if you love this nation, here's a great chance to come out and show some real strong support for these young people making that decision to serve this country. Again, 6 p.m., Desert Diamond Arena. With that, next on the agenda are citizens' comments. Council makes this opportunity available to citizens to bring information business before the council that's not on our printed agenda. Before I welcome speakers to the podium, I want to remind the audience and anyone speaking tonight, it is a public meeting, and as the chair, I'll not tolerate any profanity or threats to a council or staff. If you violate the rules, you'll be asked to leave. I don't expect any issues tonight, but it's easier to just set the rules up front. We're going to start off with Ashley Simons. I probably butchered that up. Okay, if you correct me when you get up there, your district that you live in, if it's Glendale, I don't need to know your address, just your district. If you don't know the district, the crossroads.
59th and Greenway.
Perfect. And your name?
Ashley Simons.
Okay. You have 3 minutes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay.
Pull the microphone in front of your mouth so everybody can hear you.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good evening. I'm here because I need your help. Well, my whole neighborhood needs your help. There's an issue that continues with one of our neighbors that keeps feeding a bunch of feral cats, and another one that keeps bringing them home from Fry's. I understand that this elderly veteran brings them in for comfort, and the only kind of care that he gives them is to like feed and water them. Currently, he has a black female cat that has had over 4 litters just since January. And she's currently losing fur. She's very sick. So it's just an onslaught of like cats breeding once over and over again. But the big problem is that these cats are, they poop everywhere. And they're in our yards and everything else, and they spray. I've lost a lot of furniture, but the biggest thing that really upsets me is that they've eaten my koi. Koi is very expensive, and I've raised them from small little things, but we just need help to get them trapped and neutered and released. So that's it.
Okay. I'm sure your council member identified who you are, so hopefully they or someone from the city will contact you before you leave. Thank you. Renee Lamberth. Again, don't need to know your address, just your crossroads. If you're in the city of Glendale, if you know the district, that's fine too.
I don't know the district. My name is Renee Lambeth. I'm at 59th and Greenway, just like Ashley is. We're part of the same neighborhood. What I'm just asking you guys to consider would to be adopt some of the regulations that other cities have with this same problem of the feral cats. We have compassion towards these residents who are feeding them. However, when they're allowed to breed multiple times a year, it's creating a burden for us. And as you heard from Ashley, of some of the damage that we've had to deal with. I've reached out to some of the spay and neuter associations, however, without personal contribution and or action on our part in order to trap and facilitate transportation. There's not a whole lot to be done. And even if the problem immediately is resolved, this particular neighbor is feeding an unknown amount of animals. So even if we do eliminate some of the problem, it's going to be perpetual. What I'm asking is that residents would be required to spay and neuter their indoor-outdoor cats, which is what some other cities have done, and then to extend that to the cats that they are feeding that are feral. I think it would reduce the amount of overpopulation in the city, as well as reduce the burden that is on some of these facilities that are having to aid in paying for this. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I can make out Tamara. Look, Milky? Again, your name. I don't need your address, your district, if you know it, and then you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Tamara Milky, and I live at 67th and Ocotillo. Dear esteemed members of the Glendale City Council, Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel today." I implore you to consider the feelings of fear, frustration, and desperation as we witness the devastating effects of drug use, prostitution in our neighborhoods. Far, far too long, our city has been plagued by the scourge of addiction and exploitation. Our once vibrant plazas, parks, and attractions have become battlegrounds for the destruction of lives and families. As representatives of our community, it is crucial that you understand the gravity of the situation and the profound impact it has on the hearts and minds of our residents. We cannot afford to stand by idly while our streets are ravaged by the grip of substance abuse and the exploitation of vulnerable individuals. The time for action is now. We must come together as a community and as leaders to implement comprehensive measures to combat these threats. I urge you to prioritize the health, safety, and well-being of our residents by investing in prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation programs for those struggling with addiction. Additionally, we must strengthen enforcement efforts to disrupt the cycle of prostitution. As elected officials, you have the power to enact meaningful change and shape the future of our city. Let us seize this opportunity to create a community where every individual has the support and resources they need to thrive, free from the grip of addiction and exploitation. Thank you for your attention and consideration. Together, let us work towards a brighter future for Glendale. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dibler. You know how it works, sir.
Hi, my name is James Dibler. I have a subjection for the city of Glendale. I would like Desert Diamond Arena to host a preseason game of the National Hockey League Frozen Furley in 2025. I would like the Dallas Stars to play against the Los Angeles Kings. The proceeds will be donated to Phoenix Student Hospital. It will help to bring tourist money into the state of Arizona. Currently, the Delta Center is hosting NSL Frozen Furley 2024 between the Los Angeles Kings and Vegas Golden Knights. I think it will be a great idea for Desert Diamond Arena to host NSL Frozen Furley 2025. Finally, tree members did a great job planting new trees in Zora Ranch Park. It looked great in the park with the new tree. Thank you for the time and consideration in this matter.
Thank you, James. The one thing that you didn't do, James, is tell us where you live.
I live in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, that's what I needed. Thank you, sir. Okay, there being no further business before the council tonight, I'd like to thank everyone for attending. If there's no objection from this council, meeting's adjourned.